31. Use the data in Appendix L to calculate equilibrium constants for the following reactions. Assume 298.15 Kelvin if no temperature is given. But I automatically see that I do have a temperature, so this is going to override the 298. So I'm not even going to look at this. This is the temperature that they give us. And they give us the equation that we have to solve for. CdS solid will yield Cd2 plus aqueous plus S2 minus aqueous. And we need to find that equilibrium constant. Now, equilibrium constant is a K value. Doesn't matter what K I'm using, right? Ka, Kb. This is going to be a KSP because I start off with a solid and I'm dissolving into my two ions, but we'll leave it as K for now. Now, we're only allowed to use the data in Appendix L, and Appendix L is our E values. It's our cell potential, right? And generally, from those values in the back of a textbook, I could find out what my E cell is, my cell potential for the whole equation. Now, remember, when we're using those half reactions in the back of the textbook, I need two half reactions to make one whole one. So I scan through all of the half reactions in the back of the textbook, and I find the two that come to this conclusion. So I picked the one that had CdS because that's this compound, and that equation has Cd solid, so that one has this one, and it has Cd and S2 minus, so it has this one. It does not have the Cd2 plus because this cadmium does not have the 2 plus in it. So that's why I had to pick the other half reaction that had the Cd2 plus. And now I have all of the components here. Okay, now, if we want to solve for equilibrium constant K, I say to myself, well, what formula am I going to use that links cell potentials, E values, to an equilibrium constant? And that's this formula down here. Now, I'm solving for K. So I do have a lot of different variables here. I have R, T, N, and F. But I also need to know what that E cell is. The E cell is for the specific reaction that they gave us. We only know the half reactions. So before we use this formula, I have to find the E cell. And that formula is this, right? E cell, the cell potential for the equation, is always just equal to the cathode minus the anode. Now, there's a couple of things to know about here, is that the cathode is the same thing as reduction, right? We could memorize this by saying red cat as the acronym, right? Red cat or cat red. And then vice versa, at the anode is always oxidation for these galvanic cells. You could remember that by an-ox. Now, another thing that's super important to know is that in your half reactions, reduction gains electrons, and we show that by having electrons on the left side of the equation. On the flip side, oxidation is when you lose electrons, so your electrons should be on the right side. But now the question is, I have to have one cathode and one anode. Well, which one of these is the cathode and which one of these is the anode? Well, if you notice, all of your half reactions are always going to have electrons on the left side. They're always going to be written standard as the cathode. The one that is the anode basically is going to be flipped, but we don't know which one it is. Let's investigate and see which one it is. All we have to do here is match it up. So for example, in my equation that I want, I have the cadmium with the sulfur, CdS, that's on the left side. And on my half reactions, I notice that the CdS is also on the left side. So it seems like this half reaction is written perfectly by what my equation is. Also, the sulfur 2- is on the right side, and that's on the right side. So you could also give yourself like another check. And since the equation is basically the same, the electrons are on the left side, and that's what a cathode is. So we know that the cathode is going to be the CdS equation, right? With this value. That's the cathode. The anode, we're going to see that it's probably going to be swapped. For example, you see here that the Cd2 plus is on the right side, but on this equation, my Cd2 plus is on the left side. Well, I have to flip this equation because I want it on my right side. And if I flip that equation, the electrons go on the other side. And that's what an anode is. The electrons are on the right side, the other side. So the Cd2 plus is going to be the anode. Now, all we have to do is just do subtraction to find out what my E cell is. When you're doing cathode minus anode, you do not have to change any of these signs. You just leave them as it is. So the cathode number would be negative 1.17, and then I'm going to subtract by the anode, which is, where's the anode? Where is the anode? There it is. Negative 0.4030. Let's do E cell equals negative 1.17 minus negative 0.4030. I guess for sig fig purposes, I'll only do it to the hundredths place, so negative 0.67. Did I say 67? I meant 77. And that's my E cell. Okay. So now, I have my E cell value. I can now use this formula. So let's pull this up. And maybe I will get rid of this just in case I need more space. So we know that the E cell is negative 0.77. And let's now fill in the rest. Let's see. Can I grab all this? Beautiful. So one variable at a time. R is the basically a constant here, right, in terms of energy values, because this is in volts. So I'm going to use my 8.314. The temperature is the one in Kelvin. They told me that we're at 377. F is also another constant, Faraday's constant, which is 96,485. 96,485. The units here are coulombs per mole if you want to know. And the N is the number of moles of electrons that are being shared. Now, this always comes back to your half reaction. You hope that they give you the two half reactions in which the electrons are the same. And in this case, they are. That means that whatever the oxidized guy lost, the reduction one gained. And in this case, the two electrons from the anode got lost, and the two electrons from the cathode was gained. So here my N is 2. And now we're just solving for K, so that's my only variable. Let's just plug it in. Negative 0.77 equals, we have this whole thing, and then we have ln of K. Okay. Here's my 4 things. Whoop. That's good enough. We have 8.314 as my R value. The temp was 377. My N value was 2. And my Faraday's constant was 96,485. The first thing is I would just simplify this, right? Too much. So negative 0.77 equals 8.314 times 377 divided by 2. And then I'm going to divide again by 96,485. And I get a big decimal, 0.0162428, etc., right? And that's all times by the ln of K. I am not rounding because that is not the final answer. But now I just want to get ln of K by itself. It's being multiplied by this number, so just divide. Divide on both sides by that big number, 0.0162428 yada, yada, yada. And then the same thing over here is 0.0162428. Blah, blah, blah. Cancel this out. We are now left with ln of k. And now I'm just going to say negative 0.77 divided by, I'm going to pull that whole number down, and I get another big number, which I am not going to round. 554588, and that equals the ln of k. So now we're at the last step. We just want k by itself. Well, remember, the inverse of the natural log, which is ln, is e to the. But if you do that on that side, you got to just do it on this side. This will cancel, and you're just left with k equals, and so I'm going to say second ln, that's the e button. It's already raised, so I'm just going to pull that whole number down, press enter, and there you go. I guess 2 sig figs, we'll say 2.6. 2.6 times 10 to the negative 21st. No units for equilibrium constant, and you are done. What do you think? This was pretty good. I hope this made sense. Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I hope you all are having a great day out there, and let's just keep working hard, studying hard. Good luck on your tests and quizzes. And check the channel out. We also have physics and math videos out at the moment, just to help you guys in your classes. All right? I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.